What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Ever since the acquisition of Activision by Microsoft, the question has been asked, is Call of Duty going to be available on Microsoft's Game Pass? Because I'll be the first to say this. I absolutely love the Game Pass. I think it is worth every single penny I spend on it every single month because not only do I get access to Xbox Live, which, okay, maybe we need to have a conversation about having to pay to access games online still in 2024, but not the type of video right now. But it's the fact that I have this long catalog that I can explore and access games to. And that is one of the reasons why I was even able to play a game like Dead by Daylight. I never would have originally bought that game, but because it was available on Game Pass, I played it. And the prospect of older Call of Duties coming to Game Pass is something that I'm really interested in. I mean, look what happened when Call of Duty was like reignited over this summer when the servers were fixed and older games were populated again and people were flocking to go play that instead of MW2. People were playing the original Modern Warfare 2. They were playing Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, and they were having a grand old time because these games, not only are they filled with a bunch of memories, they're also a ton of fun. And it was such a nice experience for so many in this community. I'm glad that so many people were able to experience and have that type of fun because I think it is important. I think it is very important that they have that opportunity. Which gets me to the point of today's video. Should Call of Duty become accessible on Game Pass? And I'm not necessarily talking about the newest Call of Duty games. Maybe games up to like Infinite Warfare, perhaps, are available on Game Pass as of like June of 2024. And then they slowly work at bringing in some of the new Call of Duties as time goes on. Maybe all come to the point where Call of Duty is accessible via the Game Pass for brand new titles as well. I don't really know. Obviously, it's a tough sell to anybody saying, hey, we should put Call of Duty on Game Pass, the brand new ones, and forego the potential for massive revenue in November. Because let's be honest here, there's a reason why Call of Duty releases a new game every year. It's $1 billion in their pocket, right? Like they know they're going to make money off of it. They know that it's going to line their pockets. And how do you say no to $1 billion or whatever it is, even if it's like hundreds of millions? It's tough to do that, especially when you're trying to justify the massive price tag that you just acquired Activision for. But Microsoft does have to do something to get back in the good books of these communities. Because let's be honest here, Activision's overall perception, their reputation as of late has been very disappointing to say the least. People don't look at Activision and think, wow, they're the pinnacle of video game design. They know what they're doing. They're the best publisher out there. No, that entire reputation has been tarnished by this recent push of lazy game design, lazy game development, and greed. All of their games have gotten so greedy. And it's not just Call of Duty. Look what they did to Overwatch 2. It was very clear what the goal was of that game. Let's make as much money as possible and not really worry about making the game as good as it can be. I'm fine with game companies making money. I would love to see them make more money. But you also cannot lose the focus of player enjoyment being the core of what you're trying to deliver. What you're trying to deliver shouldn't be solely there to make you money. You should be trying to have your players and your community enjoy themselves. Something that I feel Call of Duty has lost the point of for several years now. So bringing back old Call of Duty games to get people to access those again would be awesome incentive for people to get the Game Pass. Heck, the amount of people that probably want to go back and play the original Zombies or go back and play some of the original campaigns would be worth it for Call of Duty alone. But where's the incentive for them to put the brand new games out there? I don't know. And that's where I'm very curious to see how Microsoft handles this, because as time goes on, there will be more pressure, especially if they put the old ones on Game Pass, to put the new ones there as well and make them as accessible as possible. Because I think accessibility should be the focus of Microsoft now, should be the focus of this franchise. Look at what Microsoft did for Halo Infinite. Instead of trying to sell it as a full experience with single player and multiplayer, they said single player is going to cost $70, multiplayer is going to be completely free. Could Call of Duty go down that same route? Could they try something like that as well? I know many people within this community would buy a Call of Duty game if it was solely a campaign experience. I know they would. Would they pay $70 for it? That's a question. I don't really know. But when it comes to the multiplayer, do you think people would cry over that if it wasn't part of the $70 package and it became free to play? I think you'd make a lot of people very, very happy. But then we also have to talk about the issue about making these games more accessible. Means cheaters will have more access to them, will make it easy for people to cheat. And that's where they'll have to step up the Ricochet anti-cheat system. They'll have to make it better than it's ever been if they plan on having a full-scale release of Call of Duty on Game Pass. So it's kind of this double-edged sword. While, yes, I would love to see the old Call of Duty games on Game Pass, and I think it would be a fantastic addition to their already amazing catalog, you also have this other side of it where you have cheaters, and the lack of commitment that you have from just being able to buy a month of Game Pass at a time, it kind of allows itself to be really easily accessible by cheaters. So I don't know how you handle it from that perspective. And that's the problem that'll let the people making much more money than me try to figure out. Right at the end of the day, I'm just a loyal fan. I've been a fan of this franchise for a really long time, and I just want to see it become a better game than what it's been over the last few years. I'd love to see it trend in a positive direction and have this community supported in a more positive manner than what I've seen over the last few years. I'd love for Call of Duty to get to a better spot. And I saw just how nostalgic people were for the older games this past summer when the servers were fixed on Xbox. And I would love to reclaim some of that again, to have that opportunity again where players are playing these games, they're having fun, they're enjoying themselves. It feels like old times. And maybe we can learn from what made those games so great, why people have such a deep emotional connection to them, and try to bring that into the future of Call of Duty. Because I think some old developers need to play some of the old Call of Duty games to understand why this franchise is where it is. Because I think a lot of them have lost that focus. They've lost that plot point. But only time will tell. To wrap this commentary up, to finish it up, I would love to see Call of Duty come to Game Pass in some fashion. It would be great if they started off with some of the older games so new players could, have the opportunity to experience the older campaigns, the older zombies modes, and the older multiplayers. And also allow us, the players that have been around for a long time, to re-experience those great games. But I'd love to see how they strategically approach the new Call of Duty games and how players will be able to access those via the Game Pass. So it's all speculation right now. It's all rumors. It's all hopeful for me. Like I'm kind of hopefully optimistic that we see Call of Duty on Game Pass in some fashion, but we'll have to wait and see, right? Like I don't have, I can't make that decision. It comes from Call of Duty, it comes from Microsoft, so we'll just have to wait and see. At the end of the day, guys, we can at least have a little bit of a victory lap that Bobby Kotick is out as Activision CEO, so maybe this will lead Call of Duty into a much more prosperous direction. But, again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, only time will tell. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in regards to Call of Duty coming to Microsoft, potentially coming to the Game Pass down below in that comment section. And I thank each and every single one of you for taking part in these videos. So if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.